Welcome to the Explainer. Today we're going to tear down the walls on something you literally use every single day: websites. We're going to break down the blueprint that builds our entire digital world, and we'll do it using a really simple analogy: building a house.
So let's just start with the biggest question. You click on them, you scroll through them, you live on them. But what is a website when you get right down to it? You might think it's some kind of digital magic, some super complex thing, but the real answer? It's way, way simpler. That's it. No, really. Every beautiful, complicated, interactive website you've ever been on, at the end of the day, started out as a bunch of plain old text files. I mean, stuff you could write yourself in the simplest text editor on your computer.
Okay, so before we start building our house, we need to understand the neighborhood. You know, we all throw around the terms internet and World Wide Web like they're the same thing. They're not. Think of the internet as the actual land and the roads. It's the physical network. The World Wide Web, that's all the houses, the websites that are built on that land. And today, we're learning how to build one of those houses.
Every single house needs a solid frame, right? The skeleton that holds it all together. Well, in the world of websites, that frame is built with something called HTML.
It stands for Hypertext Markup Language. And you know, the most important word on this slide is mandatory. You simply cannot build a web page without it. It's the absolute, non-negotiable foundation that tells a web browser how everything is supposed to be structured. It's the skeleton.
And this is what it looks like. See? It's not that scary, is it? It's just words surrounded by these little angle brackets. We call those tags, and they're basically instructions. You can see tags here for a head, a title, a body, even a big heading that says Hello World.
So the best way to think about these tags is as the framing of the house. An H1 tag, that's like the grand entryway, the main headline. A P tag is like a room, a paragraph. They define what each space is for, but they don't do any of the decorating. No paint, no furniture, just the raw structure. And this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. On the left, you've got the code. You see those different heading tags, H1, H2, all the way down, and on the right, you see what the browser actually shows you. It's a perfect hierarchy from the most important headline down to the least. The code creates the structure.
And of course, it's not just about headings. HTML gives us tags for all the stuff we see online every day. You've got your paragraphs, your bulleted lists, your numbered lists, you've got tags for putting images on the page, and of course, the big one, tags for creating links, the very things that hold the web together. And get this, HTML isn't just for big blocks of text. It's got this really powerful table tag. It lets you organize data into neat rows and columns, just like a spreadsheet. Super important for showing information in a way that actually makes sense. Okay, so our house is framed out. We've got walls and doorways. It's functional, but let's be honest, it's pretty ugly. Nobody wants to live there yet. It's time to call in the designers. It's time for CSS. CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets, and its entire reason for being is to make our plain HTML look good. It's the language of design. It handles all the visual stuff, the colors, the fonts, the spacing, you name it. It turns a boring document into a beautiful design.
So let's go right back to our analogy. If HTML built the house, CSS is the stuff that makes it a home. It's the color of the paint on the walls, it's the wallpaper, it's the cool furniture you pick out, it's even the landscaping outside. It's all about the look and feel.
But wait a minute, how does this really work? I mean, changing the color of some text, that seems straightforward enough. But how does CSS know exactly how much space to put between things? How does it handle the whole layout? Well, here's the secret. It's something called the box model. CSS basically treats every single element on the page, a heading, a picture, anything, as if it's living inside its own invisible box. And once it's in a box, CSS can control everything about it. The content in the middle, the padding or empty space inside the box, the border itself, and the margin, which is the space outside the box. All right, we've got our structure with HTML. We've got our design rules with CSS. Now for the big reveal. Let's take the grand tour and see what happens when these two work together. And there it is, the magic. On the left, that's the raw HTML blueprint. Sure, it's structured, you can read it, but it's boring. On the right, that's the exact same HTML, but with CSS applied. The change is just incredible, right? And that is the fundamental partnership of the entire web. HTML gives things meaning, and CSS makes them look great. Now you're probably thinking, okay, but what about things that move, or buttons you can click, or forms you can fill out? Well, that's where a third piece of the puzzle comes in, called JavaScript.
In our house analogy, if HTML is the frame and CSS is the paint, JavaScript is all the electricity and plumbing. It's what makes the house functional and brings it to life.
So there you have it. You've seen the blueprint, you get the main components, you now know more about how websites are built than probably 99% of the people using them. Which leads to an interesting question. What if you wanted to build one yourself?
It is honestly this easy. You don't need any special software. Just open the most basic text editor you have, write a few of those HTML tags we talked about, save the file and just make sure it ends in .html, and then just double-click it. It'll open right up in your browser, and that's it. You've made a web page.
So, look, if you take away only one single thing from this entire explainer, please make it this. It's the golden rule of the web. HTML is for the structure. CSS is for the style.
And now that you're in on the secret, let me give you one last awesome trick. Ever wonder what the blueprint looks like for any of your favorite websites?
Try this later. Go to literally any website, right-click with your mouse, and choose the option that says Inspect. A new panel is going to pop up, and it will show you the exact HTML and CSS code that built the very page you're looking at. You now have the keys to the kingdom. Go explore.
And that's our look at the blueprint of the web. Thanks for checking out The Explainer.